Alright boys, today we're going to be ranking all the new and old Pokemon that have become available thanks to the Teal Masker DLC. Now, regulation is only a few days away and I am currently working on getting our rental code video ready, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you stick around, hit that subscribe button as you're not going to want to miss it. Now, my rankings will go as followed. S tier is meta defining, A is very good, B is good, C has a niche, and D, probably unplayable. So, to start things off here, we have Ambipom. Now, Ambipom is not a... Look, it's got something you can do, right? I'm not going to say this mod's completely unplayable. It's a very fast fake out mon. It has technician boosted fake out as well. It has things like double hit. I believe normal gens are also back in the game as well. So look, it has a niche. I definitely don't think this is a good Pokemon though. This is something where if it is like one of your favorite Pokemon, you can make it work. Like I've seen like some have decent tournament results. But I definitely don't think Ambipom has been carrying those teams. But look, I love it anyway. I'm sure, you know, you could use it as a fast fake out mon. Yeah, Arbok, you're just bad. Ariados, you're bad. Like, actually, like, Arbok has Intimidate, and, like, that's about it. There's, like, 10 better Intimidate mons. Ariados, you're just too slow to do anything. Carving, I don't really know what you do. Fairy Rock just seems bad. Chandelure, now, Chandelure is actually a interesting mon. So, pretty decent in both Trick Room and in Tailwind. Base 80 speed means it can kind of play like that hybrid where it can be, you know, a decent Trick Room setter, but also under Tailwind it can hit pretty hard. It has a 145 base special attack as well, which is pretty insane, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, it's a ghost type with flash fire, so it's not only is it immune to normal and fighting, it's also immune to fire types. I'm going to say it's good. I think it's probably on the back end of good. I'd say it definitely has more than a niche, but I really think you have to want to play this as like a Trick Room setter over something like Cresselia or Dusclops. Charger Bug, this one is kind of a meme. I know my guy Elm, he likes this, and there was a post recently on Reddit basically saying what this one can do. I just don't think you're ever going to play it. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're also just not getting any play. I'm sorry, Chimecho. Clef? I'm going to say Big Clef has a niche. It is like technically the bulkiest of the follow me mons. Actually, that might be incorrect now with Ogreborn. And obviously things like a Violet as well. I just don't see why you would ever run it over the baby form, which I think is... We're just going to put it here. Very first mon to go in. Very good. Clef is just one of the best redirection mons in the game. I think it pairs incredibly well with, you know, the Dragon types, for example. I think it's really good with Green Moon. It's really good with Como-O. And just overall, I think it's just a great, you know, great support. Has things like Heal Pulse. It has things like, obviously, Follow Me. After You for Trick Room, which is really good. While its Moonblast isn't anything crazy, you don't really need much investment from such a high-powered move, especially to things like Dark Urshi, which is really good, even Water Urshi, Como-O. There's a lot of, you know, good mons that, like, a Fairy Stab is good into. It also has access to things like Icy Wind as well for speed control. Overall, just a fantastic mon, really, really good utility. And yeah, I think it's going to have a really good place in the metagame. Conk, I absolutely love Conkeldurr as a Pokemon, but right now it is not the best Guts user. If you want to use Guts, you may as well just go with Big Ursaluna. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, it's a Guts user. It has Mach Punch. AV is also not bad with like Iron Fist. But yeah, I think it just has a niche. Cramorant, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put you there. Agent Craw, I love Crawdon, guys. I'll be the first to admit this guy is actually, it's a beast. I would love to say it has a niche because like I did Theorycraft like adaptability banded in the rain with Terra Water. I don't think it's good. Dipplin, this one's interesting. Part of me, I'm gonna say there's a niche simply because there's no other Pokemon that does what it does. Also having access to a Violet on a mon with like pretty decent stats is actually not that bad. Between its ability and its signature move, I think this mon can do something. I just think it really like wishes it had Leech Seed. Like, if it had Leech Seed, I think this mon becomes a completely different beast. But yeah, I'm just going to say C tier. Dusclops, I'm going to put it in the same tier as Chandelure here. I don't think it's on the same level as Clef. But it is probably like the second best Trick Room setter we have right now. I think Cresselia is just so damn good into the metagame that it's really hard to like put like Dusclops any higher than good. I think it lost access to Bulldoze, which sucks. That was like one of its best partners for Trick Room, obviously, because you know, you could pair it with something like, say, for example, Rhyperior, click Bulldoze, activate the weakness policy, and then you also put it into a position where as well, like, if the opponent eventually, like, gets out of Trick Room, all of a sudden they're -1 speed, and whatever you have in the back does outspeed them. But yeah, look, it's really good Trick Room. It has Pain Split, it has Will-O-Wisp, it has Nightshade as well. Terra Dark is really good on it. So yeah, definitely a solid mon. And yeah, if you're not wanting to run, like, Cresselia as your Trick Room setup, I definitely think Dusclops is one of the best options. Actually, in saying that, I do think there's actually a better option later on the list. But yeah, Dusclops is really good. Dustwire, I'm sorry, you're just bad. Dusclops just is better than you in every way. Empoleon. Empoleon, actually, a really good mon. Actually, I'm going to say it's a good one. I'm going to say it's really good. Competitive is a massive buff to this mon. Water Steel feels like such a good typing. I just wish this mon was like 70 speed faster and then like maybe had a little more HP. I really think that's where Empoleon kind of lacks. But competitive feels insanely good right now. Obviously, Icy Wind's everywhere, which it resists. Bleak Wind Storm is really good, which it resists. Intimidate feels like it's everywhere, which obviously doesn't care now that it has competitive instead of defiant. Yeah, Empoleon just a really, really good special attacker right now. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Farah, I'm just going to put you here. Gliscor, my guy, has a niche. I've seen people running things like Poison Heal, Toxic, All plus Fling. I personally actually tested Sandvale plus Bright Paddle, which was actually kind of funny. It also gets SD as well, so this one definitely has a niche. Unfortunately, it's not great. Like, it's not the dominant force that it is in singles. But in VGC, I still think it has a small niche. You'll probably never see it at the top of the meta. Obviously, being weak to ice, like, sucks, and Icy Wind and Ice Beam they feel like they're everywhere. But yeah, look, if you get lucky, you know, get up an SD, and then you've got, like, Sandvale plus Bright Powder, this one could actually do something. Now, unfortunately, both the Golems, like, I think they're actually both really interesting. But to me, they kind of both suffer from, like, what I call, like, Gen 1 syndrome. And that is, like, Game Freak just really let these mons down, man. Like, I don't know why they have 45 base speed. Like, if you're going to tell me this guy here is basically as fast as them, and, like, yeah, sure, they can roll, but, like, they're not rolling all the time in battle. Yeah, I think these mons, like, if they could just drop, like, 20 speed and throw it in Spadef, they would feel so much better. But really, their main use is Trick Room, and there's just so many better Trick Room users. Both their typings are really bad as well. They get messed up by so many different things. Yeah, I'll lump them together there. Illumise, and by extension, Volbeat. Probably just C tier for both of them. They both basically do the same thing from what I understand. I've never really tested them. I've seen them on ladder. I've seen people try them. They're basically just like prankster supports. I believe they both get Tailwind, if not only Illumise does, but I mean, look, they're annoying. That's that. I don't know why you would run them over like Tornadus, for example, or even Murkrow for that matter. My guy Infernape, absolutely love this guy. Gonna have to throw him in C tier. He's a decently fast fake out mon, pretty good stabs, pretty good focus sash user, has some like really powerful moves like between like Blitz and CC. I believe also like Overheat and Focus Blast. It also got Aura Sphere. It has Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave as well if you want to go physical or special. Yeah, look, it has a niche. It can definitely do something. I know it's had some decent-ish tournament results. But yeah, it's just really it's just an average mon, unfortunately. I think it's better suited for singles than it is VGC. Big Bad Kamo. This guy, very solid A tier mon. Its ability to set up is insane. It has the Clangorous scale set. It also has the Iron Defense Body Press set, both of which are really, really good. It hard walls like arguably the best Pokemon in the metagame. That being every single Ogerpon form. Obviously, you know, doesn't hard wall Fluttermane, which is probably the other best Pokemon in the metagame. But look, it's really, really good, right? It can set up with the Iron Defense. God, I can't English. Iron Defense Body Press with like Flamethrower plus Terra Fire. I also really like as well the Clangorous Soul paired up with Terra Fire Flamethrower as well. Just overall a really, really good Pokemon. It loves to set up, and it just has a really good matchup into most of the metagame. Lavani, I know you've got Chlorophyll, but why would I run any Chlorophyll mon that isn't Lilligant? My guy Ludi, I was so excited for Ludicolo coming into the format. I think it's just power crept. It just doesn't hit hard enough. Like, the AV set plus Fake Out's really good. It makes it like the fastest Fake Out mon in the game, under Rain at least. And its bulk's nice. It's just damage doesn't feel like it's there, and it kind of feels like it needs to deal damage. Like, it just sucks, man. If it had like, you know, 100% accurate Hydro Pumps or something, I think it would be a bit better. But yeah, look, the mon's still decent. Like, you can still do stuff with it. Ice Beam, you know, it's got Ice Beam, it's got Energy Ball, Hydro Pump and whatnot. So it has some things it can do. I just don't think it's going to be a staple on Rain. Like, why run this when I could run something like, say, Basculegion as my Rain Sweeper? Macago, yeah, I'm just going to put you there. Memo, I'm going to say Memo is a good mon. Memo has a really, really good typing into the metagame. Ice is just like fantastic right now to all the flying and grass types running around. Ground is just always a good stab as well. Like, you know, a stab high horsepower, base 130 attack is never a bad thing. Decent speed. It's good under under Tailwind. It's a great focus sash user as well. Yeah, just overall a good mon. I think it likes Terra as well. Like being able to Terra out of some of its weaknesses is nice. And yes, like basically any ice type right now, paired up with a Alolan Ninetales is a pretty decent mon. Manabos, I'm gonna say, part of me wants to put this good. Look, I feel like it's nah, I think I can put it on the same level as Ludi. Like, part of me thinks like these two are just better than everything else in the tier. Oh, you know what? If Chandelore's up there, I'm actually gonna move these both here. I think that's fine. Basically, Manabuzz, what's it do? It's a very, very bulky Tailwind setter. Has Snarl, Foul Play. Yeah, it kind of just sits there. It's annoying. Has access to, you know, things like Roost. Terra's really good on it as well. Yeah, just an overall annoying support. I don't think it's going to see much play, but I still think the mon's decent, right? It's like, for example, Iron Valiant. Like, Iron Valiant is a good Pokemon, but why would I ever run it when I have Flutter Mane? Flutter Mane just completely outclasses it, and that's kind of how I feel about Mandibuzz. Still a decent Pokemon. I just don't think it's going to really see too much play. Mienshao, this is a fast fake-out mon with Inner Focus. Basically, this mon's, like, best set is going to be, like, Sash, Fake-Out, Close Combat, and, like, just fake something out, get dropped to your Sash, fire off a strong close combat, and then you're dead. But yeah, it can do something. Pretty similar to Infernape, I'd say. I think Infernape's probably a little bit better. But who knows? Maybe Mienshao's CCs with Inner Focus could do a bit more. Another just really bad Intimidate user. I'm just gonna smack you right there with the Arbok there. My low tick in a very similar spot to our friend here in Empoleon. Its overall bulk is a bit better than Empoleon's. It also has access to the coil set, which is like one of the main reasons. Coil on this mon plus like things like Hydro Pump, because like if you coil up, for example, for those who don't know, you raise your accuracy and your defense. Also raise your attack, but this mon really doesn't care about that. But basically, your Hydro Pumps don't miss, and make sure, I think Hypnosises go up to like 90% accuracy. I could be wrong. Unfortunately, it lost Muddy Water, which actually sucked. If it had Muddy Water, I think it'd be in a way better position. Things like Recover, though, lefties are just really good. And then it's competitive. Obviously, you know, we said it before. Bleak wins everywhere. Icy wins everywhere. Intimidates everywhere. It's just a good mon. I think it pairs really well with things like, what's its name? Roaring Moon as well. So, yeah, pretty decent mon. More Pico. I love this mon. I think it's one of the best Pikachu clones we've ever had. I think it's just bad. Alolan Ninetails. You are a good Pokemon. Alolan Ninetails has already seen some really, really good results. The Snow Buff obviously makes it really hard to deal with on the physical end. It is also a Pokemon that's kind of forcing like a few teams to actually run manual weather, which I do think is pretty nice. Stab Blizzard is always good. Aurora Veil is obviously the main reason you want to run this thing. It's pretty fast, has access to things like Encore and Disable, Moonblast, Icy Wind, Dazzling Gleam. The list goes on. It's a really, really good just support mon. If you can get up screens for your team as well, it puts it in a really good spot. And funny enough, I think I've seen cores with these three mons right here on it, where like you get up the screen, so the Como-O gets its Omni boost, and then you start sweeping through. A regular Ninetales, I think you're just a solid B tier mon. It's a good Sunsetter. I think if you want a faster mode, like it does a lot of, I don't want to say it does a lot of things that Torkoal does, because Torkoal is just inherently a better mon. Obviously access to Eruption and being like the slowest thing in the format is always really good. But yeah, Ninetales here, it has a pretty fast Will-O-Wisp. It has Howl support as well for things like Roaring Moon if you pair it with that. And as I said, it's base 100 speed. It's just faster than regular, what's it called, Torkoal. So like the Eject Pact Overheat set is also pretty decent on this one. But yeah, decent mon. Probably not the best Sunsetter we have, but you know, I'm sure it can do stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, Noctowl, you're just bad. Pheasant, Dippity, Mike guy. I'm gonna smack him in B tier. I think it has some interesting sets. Technician's probably bad. Icy Wind and Dazzling Gleam with Toxic Chain is decent. It's a Tailwind setter as well, which is decent. I know there are like people running like Scarf Technician Double Kick as well, because like apparently that just picks up Chen powers. So look, it has stuff it can do. I think it's just an average mon. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit hard enough. And it really just relies on stalling out the game, which kind of feels pretty hard at the minute with how much offense there is running around. Monkey Dory, my guy. I think he's like a... I think he's just C. I mean, he hits really hard. Decently fast fake out again, which is always good. I just think like having a Psychic type in this metagame feels bad with like all the Sucker Punches running around. But look, it hits hard, you know, between Poison Psychic, it can, you know, deal with a couple things. But I do feel like it's kind of just locked into like Psychic, Sludge Bomb, Fake Out, Protect. Yeah, just a decent mon. It's not really going to do anything too crazy, but yeah, it's okay. I'll quickly bump Okie Dokie up here. I think Okie Dokie's the best of the loyal three, but I don't think it's like in the really good tier. I could be proven wrong, actually. I do think Guard Dog into Intimidate's really nice, obviously. The bulk up sets actually do seem pretty good, especially behind screens. Like if this one gets a bulk up, defensive terror, and then like Drain Plunge plus P-Jab can just be really, really annoying. So yeah, decent-ish mon. Now we finally get into the big boys. Do I want to save them for last? Nah, we'll do it now. We don't need to save it for last. Stone Mask Overform, I'm just going to say you're good. This guy is probably the worst of the 4. Its typing is just the worst. It probably has like arguably, I don't want to say arguably the best actually. I'm going to say it has arguably the best Ivy Cudgel, but that's just because like we don't actually have any good rock moves. It's literally just Stone Edge but can't miss. But yeah, typing's definitely the worst. But yeah, look, overall, it's an Overform. They're good, man. Hearth Flame, this could actually be the best Pokemon in the game right now. Typing is insane. Coverage is insane. Terra in the Sun one-shots Iron Hands, which is also freaking insane. It has the best Terra effect as well. For those who don't know, when you Terra this one, it gets +1 to its attack, and it works like Intrepid Sword did in Gen 8. So basically, you can swap this out, swap it back in, and it gets that +1 attack. Look, I'm not going to say too much about it. This one is the best one in the metagame. Or at least, you know, of the new mons, it is right up there, though, with Fluttermane as one of the best. I was about to say some things. I'll go into it a bit here with the water version. Basically, same thing with the fire one. It just has a really, really good typing. Unfortunately, it doesn't get that +1 attack, but I do think the water one is a better support. Obviously, it has water absorb, which is really good into things like Rapid Strike Urshifu. These ones also have Follow Me, guys. Hello there, Follow Me. And yeah, I think this is probably the best Follow Me user of the 4. Really, really good redirection when you compare this thing up with like Follow Me plus Horn Leech and basically just sit around for ages. I don't want to go too much into the Ogre Pawns. We kind of all know what they do at this point. They're just really freaking broken mons. Very, very well statted. You know, they're deceptively bulky and they're, you know, pretty quick and hit pretty damn hard. And then finally, the Teal Mask form here. I think this one's pretty good. It has arguably the best ability of the 4, being Defiant. I should probably mention as well, for those who don't know, I guess, the Fire one has Mold Breaker, which is actually pretty good into things like Heatran, for example. Heatran can't just like freely switch into the Ivy Cudgel unless you're Terrored. But anyway, back to the Teal Mask one. Teal Mask is cool because it can actually hold an item. So there's been a bunch of sets going around. I think like there's the Scope Lens set, because I think Scope Lens plus Ivy Cudgel, even without Focus Energy, is like a 50% chance to crit. You can hold Life Orb, Focus Sash, Miracle Seed. The list goes on and on. This guy's biggest issue is he doesn't have that secondary stab for his Ivy Cudgel. Basically, you know, Fire one has Fire Cudgel, Water has Water Cudgel, Stone has Rock Cudgel. This guy has Grass Cudgel, so Ivy Cudgel is its best grass stab, which is fine. You know, it likes to run that over set with things like Wood Hammer, which I do think is pretty good. But from there, it's kind of just relying on, you know, kind of just coverage moves, right? Like things like Knock Off, Stomping Tantrum, Rock Tomb. I think it also gets Bullet Seed, which isn't a coverage move, but is also really good for things like Chien Power, for example. But yeah, look, decently good mon. I think the best thing going for this is when he Terras, he gets +1 speed, which is really good for just straight up like one-shotting Fluttermanes. But yeah, pretty good mon, man. Then we have my guy Toad. I would absolutely love to put Toad in the A tier. I just think Manual Weather is too good, and because of that, I'm going to put Toad in B. I still think Toad is better than Pelipper. It's bulkier. It has Perish. It has, you know... I feel like Toad's just open to more diverse sets, where Pelly kind of wants to run like Wide Guard, Tailwind, like Double Stab. Maybe you drop like Wide Guard for Protect or like something else, but yeah, that's kind of it. Whereas Toad is like a lot more diverse. Again, it works really well with Focus, with Perish Trap. It also has like Muddy Water as well, which is just nice. Like sometimes you can just like spam out a couple Muddy Waters and just do a lot of damage. But yeah, Toad, really cool weather setter. Poliwrath, you're probably just like niche. You've got Belly Drum, you've got Swift Swim. But yeah, it's just, the thing with him is like, why run him over like any other water type? And I have seen people in the past say like, oh yeah, but like, Chien Power can't touch it. It's like, yeah, Chien Power can't touch it, but it can't really touch anything. Like, it really needs its, like, it really, really relies on getting off a Belly Drum, but like, if you're pairing like Toad plus Poliwrath, it just feels weird. And yeah, like, even in rain, Bleakwind Storm's everywhere. I don't know, it just feels rough to play this mon. Probo Arse, it's in the name. You're a Slush Rush user, that's about it. Ice Steel's decent, you just don't have the stats, you're too slow. Same with you, I'm actually not even gonna put you there, I'm putting you here. Sand's just bad. At least Slush Rush guy, you know, he gets the buff, yeah, but I don't know, Sand Slash, you're bad. Shifty actually just got a really cool buff. He got Wind Rider, which means he lost Early Bird for it, so in Tailwind, he gets +1 attack now, which is pretty cool. You know, on like Sun Tailwind teams, he's like pretty. Actually, you probably don't even have to run it on Sun anymore now, do you? Before, like, it has Chlorophyll, but I think Windrider's better. But yeah, under like what's it called? Like paired up with like Tornadoes, for example. It's got a very fast fake out. It loves +1 attack. Its typing's just bad, but I mean, again, it's a pretty fast fake out mon. So yeah, we'll look at there. Its ability is like really, really good. Sinister, I mean, you're an A tier mon. This guy is without a doubt one of the best supports we just got in the game. I mean, it has Trick Room modes. It has like redirection support modes with like Rage Paddle plus Strength Sap. It has like Calm Mind and Nasty Plot sets. Its signature moves Busted. Terra Water Scold on this thing is also really good. It also has Hex too, because it has like 2 burning moves. This guy's bag is deep. I compare it to Kyrie Irving because, again, the bag's deep, man. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Slacking, I don't know why you're on this list. I'm guessing it's because of Wheezing, but I'm just going to slide you to the back here. Snorlax, I think Snorlax is actually it's a good one. I don't know if I can say it's very good right now. I haven't tested enough myself. But I do know Wolfblick ran it paired up with Como and Clefairy, and it seemed really freaking good. I have been pieced up by it twice on the ladder. I do think its biggest issue, though, is it kind of just, like, really struggles into, like, fake-out teams. Urshifu is also just, like, really good into it. But yeah, I still think it's pretty decent, though, especially on Trick Room. If you can get, like, Redirection plus Trick Room, especially, like, something like Clef, this one can really sweep through teams. Belly Drum is really good as well. Swanna, I actually caught a shiny one of these, and that's why I'm going to put it in D tier, because it's bad. So Terra, he just got Shell Smash, which is kind of interesting. I know Ryan, aka Sableye VGC, actually just made a video about him, too. I think it's decent. Like, you can play it with Shell Smash and it can actually do stuff. I just don't think you're going to want to rely on that to win an event. Trevenant, you're a decent Trick Room setter. That's about it. Like, maybe it's good in Sunroom with Harvest. Harvest Trick Room, and then, like, I don't know if it gets... I think it gets SD, right? I'm actually not too sure. I feel like it gets some setup move. It could even just be Hone Claws I'm thinking of. I'm certain it gets something. But yeah, again, I don't see why you'd run this over anything else, but it's there. Victory Bell, you have Chlorophyll, but you're just bad. A Vikavolt, my guy. I think Vikavolt like, biggest issue is, like, it just doesn't touch Landorus. I think it's a decent mon. I definitely still think you could test this out on Trick Room, and I still think, like, especially when paired with Ursaluna, it's a decent mon. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it in C tier. I mean, it hits really damn hard. I think, yeah, its biggest issue is, like, if it can't just, like, spam out its, like, Disquake combos with, like, Ursaluna, it just doesn't feel great. The Wheezing forms, I think these are... Do I want to, like, put them both at very good? Nah, it actually feels really weird to put them on the same level as, like, Sinister. I'm just going to put them down here in the, in this tier, B tier. Neutralizing Gas is really good. They both have, like, different niches, in terms of, like, one, like, the Galarian one with its, like, Fairy Stabs actually, like, pretty decent. It's really good for, like, just, like, outputting damage. I know people run, like, Gleam. I've seen people even run, like, Strange Steam on it. Sludge Bomb. It has Pain Split and Will-O-Wisp. Both of them have access to that, by the way, which I do think is really, really good. Obviously, their ability is fantastic. It turns off, like, everything but Photosynthesis, so they're amazing pairing up with things like Roaring Moon, for example. Even Iron Hands is another good option. I do know a lot of people are testing, like, Water Ogre Pawn with it as well. So they have a lot of utility. They just kind of, like, really force you to have a team dedicated to them, which is, like, the biggest issue. They're also, like, not half bad as well with slacking. I have seen people run, like, bulk up slacking with Clear Amulet, so, like, you can't, like, get rid of its stats, and then it kind of just sits there. But its biggest issue is if the Wheezing ever goes down in that stage, then the strat kind of just fails. Yan Mega, I love Yan Mega. That's as good as it goes, though. I don't really think it's going to do anything. Speed Boost is cool. Tinted Lens is another option, but yeah, it's just the D tier mon. And then finally, Blood Moon Ursaluna. What tier do I want to put this in? This mon's very good. I don't think I can say it's like a meta-defining mon, but it's definitely like right up here. It's really good. It gives you like a completely different option to the regular Ursaluna. It is less bulky overall, but having like a special sweeper like this in Trick Room is actually kind of insane. It is also a little bit faster than Ursaluna as well, so it's actually not that bad in Tailwind, like if you run like Timid Max Speed. But with things like Calm Mind, its signature move is Broken, Earth Power, and like Normal is actually just like really good at covering each other. Basically, everything that resists the Earth Powers, the Hyper Voices and Blood Moons are actually weak to Earth Power. Also, if you don't want to run Calm Mind, the Throat Spray set is really good with Hyper Voice. You can just go Hyper Voice, Blood Moon, and Earth Power. It doesn't need Terror to be good either. It doesn't mind Terror, but yeah, I mean, overall, this mon hits really damn hard. It's really good in Trick Room, and yeah, it's a really solid mon, dude. I'm gonna, yeah, definitely have it in here and very good. Let me just double check this. I want to see if I can, like, order this, like, how I'd want to. I feel like something like this feels good. If I'm gonna, like, if I'm ranking them in, like, terms of how good they are, right? I just, like, want to play around with this. Like, am I mad about any of these placements, really? No, I think that seems good. I like bump that up there, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to get these in order, guys. I guess while I'm fucking around with this, guys, like, what do you guys think? Yeah, like, am I off on any of these? Like, is there something like down here in D or C that I'm like completely missing on? I mean, like, Monkey Dory could be B tier for all I know. Same with Infernape. I think Infernape has like some cool niches. Maybe Mienshao as well. Even like Clef and Conk. Like, I would love a world where Conk's good, dude. Yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys think. Obviously, you know, this is still like a pre-Regulation E tier list. Obviously, these are just the new mons that are coming in. I'm almost certain all these mons will definitely be available in Regulation E. If there are any bans, which surprisingly enough still has not been confirmed yet. If there are any bans, I don't think any of these ones here will be banned. Obviously, the last 4 here as well are, I don't know why they're here. They're obviously already in the game. I can't help but feel like this tier list is missing something, but I didn't create this tier list, and it was like the closest thing to what I wanted. So yeah, anyway, guys, that's gonna be it. If you could, obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does mean the world to me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let me know let me know what you think of the list. Let me know if I'm wrong on anything or if I'm right on anything. But yeah, catch you in the next one. Peace.